You don't touch
I didn't delete anything.
Recording?
I literally did not delete
I
anything.
need my cheesy gordita crunch.
Is it
Alright,
rolling?
guys.
It's going.
Is it rolling?
For them, like,
Motherfucker, this is raw. We're going.
yeah, we're going raw. So,
All right, guys.
cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, dudes.
Welcome to TougeTalk episode. Fucking, I don't even know what episode it is. What episode are we on?
I have no idea.
12?
11.
12. We did 11.
Oh, that's right,
We're
12.
on
We were
12.
supposed to do 11 and a half.
Yeah.
Lost episode.
That was a lost episode. We're on episode 12. On today's episode, we got the one and only cameraman Mike.
Going. We're out here taking names. We're doing money runs. $1,000 minimum. TX2K ain't got nothing on this shit. We're bringing it to the 626 point. Look out. Look the fuck out.
All right, so on today's episode, we have a shameless plug. We got Kenda Tire. Ramon will talk about it for a
Shout out to Kenda Racing for this shameless plug. We are in no way, shape, or form trying to pursue a sponsorship later down the year. But, if you're tired of your trash-ass Federals that get hard, like 3 to 4 laps in, you just go this route. They don't get hard at all. They just stay soft. It's like when you have whiskey dick. the right amount of hard with the right amount of soft that you can just go on forever.
That's not true.
Right, so we're kind of throwing it back to the earlier episodes here because Mike, we do know him on a personal level. We met him up in the canyon. So Mike, I mean, you know, we know you send it. We know you do what you do up there. No one's really seen your face ever.
No,
until
it's been
probably right now. No.
I've been on the story a couple times, and then in the Big Will video that you put up on YouTube, like I'm in that.
We'll link that below.
Yeah, so like
Those
it's
are
not
like our early
the.
videos.
Yeah.
There hasn't been like a. I've never done like a formal face reveal, so I guess this would be it. So, hi, I'm cameraman Mike. If you've never met me before or seen me, this is this is me.
The man, the myth, the legend.
You got
that's
sauced by a Hyundai Elantra and a white
Yeah.
LX EX Civic 4-door.
It was I think a LX, whatever.
He
like
sent it in
whatever,
He was
like,
the one that
car.
sauced you.
whatever like that top trim is that has like the leather and the XM
think
radio and
that's an
shit.
LX.
Like it's probably the LX.
I don't know. He sends it in anything he drives. And Elantra is just doing work.
Excuse me. Shit.
right into it.
Jesus Christ.
All right, Mike.
You
know
said
what?
it was raw.
Yeah, it is raw, man. It is raw. So we're gonna go straight into it, man. Like, what brought you into the canyon? What got you up there?
That would be going back to like the spring of 2017. I can't remember if I found the TougeSociety page first or the page for the Midnights. Shout out to the Midnights. Shout out to Mike. Yeah, like I found their pages and like I knew that Midnights was like they were hosting meets, and at the time like I like to just go to meets and just like see what cars and shit people brought out. I saw that they were doing one that was being co-hosted with TougeSociety, and I was thinking, like, oh shit, like maybe they're gonna go driving or something after. Like I want to be there for that. So I borrowed my grandpa's car, drive like 45 minutes from my house to this meet. Have no idea who anyone is, but there's a lot of cool cars and shit. The first location actually got burned out, so everyone had gone to the second one. So I'm like frantically scrolling through Instagram stories trying to figure out like where the hell everyone's at. Found where the meet was, and that only went for like maybe half an hour before that got broken up by cops. But I was talking with a couple dudes, and someone comes up to us and he says like, "Hey, we're gonna be going driving after. If y'all want to go." And I play along. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm down. We'll see y'all up there." They mentioned the road that they're driving, and I have no idea what the hell they're talking about. But I'm just like, I'll just figure it out. I'll just check Google Maps, whatever. Finally figured out the right road. I get down there at the base, and there's a IS300 doing donuts at the bottom, and like a couple other cars I recognize from the meets. I'm like, okay, cool, we're in the right spot. We drive up the
We
road.
had no association. Sorry, Mike.
It's raw. Shit.
No, it's all good. Yeah, like I follow them up. Like there's a bunch of cars at the top of the turnout that I recognize from the meet, and I'm just trying to meet people. Then eventually, I think I met you first,
Yeah.
and then Mike was there that night as well.
Yeah. So long story short,
I think food's here.
when you got to reorder food. So long story short, that's the same night. I believe we met S2K Mike. You guys know him, and cameraman Mike. We met both of them that night in the canyon, and voice crack. Sorry. Yeah, it was.
You're all good, man. Puberty is a real thing.
Dude.
Affects 1 in 5 Americans.
On today's episode.
On today's episode of TougeTalk.
Well, we got the smallest one right here. Speak.
Ladies and gentlemen, on today's episode of TougeTalk, Joseph is drunk, Mike is handsome as always, and I am high as balls. Thanks for joining us. Back to the show.
Jesus Christ.
Actually, that'd be a good promo.
Supposed to. So keep going. So you met us there, and then
Oh, the food actually was here.
so I'm guessing like it was just conversation, right? And then I think it got down to like 10 minutes, bull crap, or
No, it was just conversation, and then once the night ends, we're all driving down. I'm driving behind you, and when you still had your Integra, and you were with Steven.
yeah,
Or was that?
Yeah, I was there.
yeah.
That was in Jay's Integra, right? That wasn't in yours.
I think
We had our
both
own.
our-
We had both of ours in.
Really? I only remember the one car, but I don't know. Anyway, we're all driving down, but y'all make a left over a bridge, and I didn't realize you guys were just going to another road, but I thought maybe you were having car trouble. So I followed you guys for a second, but then when I realized that you're just going to keep going, I'm like, well, I have no idea where the hell this is going to end up, so I'm just going to bust a bitch and go home.
We missed out because we all know what road that is now,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and we all know what happens there, and it's a ton of fun.
I mean, by the third or fourth time we hung out,
I don't want my
checked it
fucking
out,
food.
I'm not high enough for this yet. David.
Well, sit on it.
What?
Oh,
What's that?
someone asked, is the Mark 1 Focus the greatest front-wheel drive chassis ever built?
And you know who that is already.
Tommy, good question.
I mean, just I'm a little biased to my Hyundai, but I will admit that is a damn good car. I've got a very good taste of what that can do over a year ago. Like, definitely surprised the hell out of me. Good car, great driver too, and just from what I can tell, he's only been improving on that platform. So definitely underlooked, heavily underrated, I would say.
For those of you that don't know what a Mark 1 Focus is, if you're old enough, it's the Ford Focus you modified in Need for Speed Underground.
There you go.
Remember I had one of those with like the singular wireless wrap on it.
Yeah. So, look at this shit. Really quick, man. It's gonna be quick.
Yeah.
What cars do you own? Like, what have you driven on the actual Canyon besides the Civic that you mentioned in the get-go?
And the Elantra.
And the Elantra.
Yeah.
There's
Well,
another car that you currently run right now?
Yeah, currently right now I have a 88 RX-7 convertible. The plan for that is actually for that to be my track car / canyon car. I know a convertible is not the ideal standpoint, but when I was looking for a car, I was actually looking for a Miata for the obvious reasons. But the RX-7 came up in the suggested or the tags or whatever the hell, and it was so cheap I just knew I couldn't pass it up. I probably didn't have another chance to get a good running RX-7. So yeah, fuck it, I own a convertible RX-7 now.
Convertibles are way more stylish. Next question.
Take a shot every time I burp.
I'm down.
There he goes.
Wow.
Cheers.
So someone asked, do you feel the scene is dead now? Because a lot of people are just going up because of clout. No one's really there for the passion of the drive anymore.
That's a good one.
I'd say the scene changes from road to road. There are some roads where I would say that, at least as far as competitive driving goes, it is dead, and there's a whole lot of reasons for that I won't go into just for the interest of time. But the roads that are dead, though, the nice side of that is that for those of us that still want to drive, so much more time for seat time, less worries about oncoming traffic, people hogging the road, whatever the case may be. And then on those roads where the scene is still very much active, good for them and those locals, having an outlet for competition like that is definitely helps improve driver skill, comfort with your car, comfort driving with other people. Yeah, and if you can keep that going, then keep it going.
Okay.
What? Yeah, back to me.
Is that not how it's been going
I know
thus
it
far?
is, but I don't have the script.
I mean, I can ask myself.
I'm just making these things up. All right, give me this.
You know what? Actually, real quick.
Mike, what's the
Hold
best
on.
night you've had up there so far?
Oh, the best night I've had.
There you go. Now it's that question.
Oh man, there's a lot of good ones. We might have to cut this, to be honest. There's a lot of stuff I gotta think through as far as what
We'll
was a
circle
good
back to
night.
that question.
Our first race.
That was a good ass night. That was definitely. I don't know if I have a best night, but there was definitely a lot of good ones. Like Steven and I, our first race. That was also one of my first races, period, up in the canyon. So that'll always have a special place in my heart, boo.
He didn't even pay attention.
No, I did. He cheated.
Sounds like an excuse.
That was good. I one time with a Civic, spanked the fuck out of a G37. That was really funny.
Oof.
Running into I'll use this night just to answer the question. One time we were up there fairly recently, just hanging out at the turnout, and then this dude rolls up in like a bone stock Nissan, like a Sentra or Versa or something. Older dude, and he just asked like, "Hey, anyone want to race?" And I just like turned to my girlfriend, and we're both just like, "Yeah, fuck it, we'll go for it." We get in the car, we start following him. He takes one turn, and it was like textbook, like outside, very, very inside, very, very outside. I'm just like, God damn, he knows how to drive. Yeah, come to find out, the dude's been running since like '99.
Holy shit.
Yeah, y'all, if the locals probably know who I'm talking about. If not, this guy knows how to drive, knows the road like the back of his hand, uses like 11/10ths of the road too. Like
I remember that night.
Yeah,
Nobody has
good
to
ass
do
night,
it.
dude.
Yeah, and there's always going to be that. Like, every canyon has its locals, every canyon has its old-timers. A lot of people call them. And those are just people that have been running it for, like, a long-ass time. And, yeah.
What?
Yeah, those are
Just chilling,
those
Jesus
guys and
Christ.
gals. If you wanna learn a road, those are definitely the people to seek out. Like even if you can only keep up with them for like a couple corners or whatever, like that's still knowledge, you know.
Yeah, and you still learn from it. Seeing how they handle the canyon.
No budget, no limitations. If you could build one troll chassis, what would it be? So a lot of you guys don't know this, but him and I are like very cultured car-wise, so we like always speak about the randomest shit ever.
That's really good. We might have to circle back to that. Also, I never answered the question about everything I've driven.
So what? Right? What have you owned and driven?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because we started talking about RX-7. That was it. Yeah, my bad. So up in the canyons, other than the cars we've already mentioned, I've driven it's like a 06 Toyota Solara, a 2012 CRV, an 08 Scion XD. Not like the proper canyons, but a 2002 Hyundai Elantra. What else? Oh, a 93 Acura Integra. Another RX-7. This was a 91. That's Jay's RX-7. If you didn't know, I own that. I own that first.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he just called you a bitch.
19
How do you like love?
No, I mean, Jay, I made the promise to him that... I made the promise to him that once it's finished up, he gets to drive it.
I've driven it once, not with the rebuilt engine, but with like all the suspension and stuff done. And damn, that felt good. That's a nice car.
On some tires that are going to be swapped out. Canada.
There we go. Shameless plug number
Shameless
2,
plug
baby.
number 2. And then also the
Then,
99 Miata.
Oh yeah, that's right. Drove the Miata a little bit,
that was a
and
fun
a '97 Subaru Legacy. And I think, oh wait, and my buddy's WRX too. That was a 04.
Yeah.
The Miata, and I think that's everything.
You drove the BRZ, didn't you?
No, I never got to drive it.
Wow.
We talked about it a lot, but it just never lined up.
Fucking DQers. Scum of the Nissan world.
No, the 300 is.
Next question.
Let's see how these Ford is. If you could build the perfect Togue using every section of any road,
Oh, that's
what
good.
would
That's
it be?
really good,
What would it
man.
consist of?
What were these questions
That's
for?
That's a goddamn good question.
Wait, what was the question?
He needs to be high to come up with some good questions. I love it.
You can
I
make,
was
Alright.
when I took the SAT and the
you can
KC.
make the perfect
All right,
And yes.
Let him answer the question.
I'll do my best to not name names. So if this doesn't make any sense, I apologize. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, then you know what's up. All right, so no center line. No center line. That's for sure. Combination of uphill and downhill. No really, really long sweepers like ACH. I don't mind naming that because everyone knows ACH.
Boring. Sorry.
really
I had some
driving.
shit in my throat.
Yeah, but definitely a good mixture of like good mixture of like technical turns, like more like moderate, like high speed stuff. It's got to have a view. That's their thing. It's got to have a good view. And like you shouldn't be watching city lights while you're driving, but like any chance you could, like any like split second you can take to just kind of like dissociate yourself from your 90s shitbox that's falling apart. It's got to have a nice view. Good scenery too. Like honest and like it sounds stupid, but driving a road with like lush plant life and trees and like all that kind of good shit is like makes all the difference. It really does.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd say it's honestly not too.
He hit his sunstruck.
I don't think she did. She hit it.
She hit it. I don't know. Sorry, one of my neighbors just hit his sunstruck.
That's gotta hurt.
Hey, Dad, you're paying for my repairs, man.
Oh shit.
Oh, and to wrap up a really really long explanation, it's got to have a good rhythm too. It doesn't matter. Like some roads, the rhythm changes a couple times throughout, but to me, it's most frustrating when the road like doesn't have a consistent rhythm and like it feels like every turn is different, but within reason they're all kind of similar through each section. It's just like when every turn is completely different, that's just a pain in the ass. Yeah, so it's got to have a good rhythm, and I'd say
Sounds like you're not good.
even bumps are fine. Like bumps add character in my opinion, but if it's just like if it's like a washboard, then like it's no good.
That's a good one. All right.
Or you want me to keep
No,
going, or?
Well, I'll go next because you look like you're freaking washing out right now.
Still good.
You sure?
Yes.
All right. I had a question. This is more on the personal side. What did you think of the run with your Elantra and the Fiesta?
Oh, that was fun. It's all, like I just love runs in general. Like I don't really care. Like I don't care if like I give a gap, if I could serve the gap, like whatever. It's just racing people's fun. Like I don't care either that I'm not the fastest. It's just about fun. Like there's no money in this. There's no sponsorships. There's no prizes or even glory. Like unfortunately, most of like the most fast people, they get forgotten within like a couple years just because like they stop driving or like everyone else that knew them stops driving too. So just fucking enjoy it while you can, and who cares if you win or lose or get sauced by a rental.
There you go. That's beautiful.
Such an inspiration.
It's gonna. Well,
Hey, I'm not fast, so I have to be inspirational somehow. Jesus.
Don't forget the Fiesta overheated during that run.
No. Separate run.
Quarter of the way in.
Separate run.
Oh, it's a separate run?
Ridge.
It's
Every
the-
other run.
It did overheat, but we got a settled run on Ridge. I thought it was even, to be honest with you.
What, did you guys
Yeah,
actually
pretty
race?
Or were you driving the Civic?
No, I was in the fucking Fiesta, bro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the same one that overheated, right?
Okay. I think I remember this.
Yeah. Forgotten already?
Nope.
Go.
So, do you feel that, sort of to touch on the previous question, that like social media is kind of like changing the reason as to why people go up now, or as to why people drive, in a sense?
I mean, I think so. Social media has had but then again, like, social media has had such a massive impact on
Everything.
Yeah, on everything, exactly. That it's a little.
Or just leave it in the middle?
I can't deny the impact that social media has on like car culture and driving, and especially like the illicit side of like driving. It's like you can't deny that, but it's changed so much of the world as we know it that we can't really do anything but accept it and do our part to be. I don't want to say stewards because that sounds pretentious, but we have to do our part to like be diligent and teach both new drivers, old drivers, anyone in between. Teach them how to be responsible. How to. If someone finds out about something because of social media, great. I mean, I did. Like, if it wasn't for Instagram, I probably wouldn't have gotten into this. But at the same time, excusing some of my past mistakes, I'm not going to use Instagram to like post every time I go up and geotag and like all this other bullshit. Like social media is a powerful tool, but there's ways you have to be smart with it as well. So I wouldn't say that it's made the scene any better or worse. It's just it changes and things change. That's how it goes. And that's another burp.
Shot
If you're
down.
still playing that home drinking game, that's a shot.
You should just like fart in a video that's 10 jugs. Casually
Yeah.
shake your pants.
So, let's go into the next one. What do you think about the whole thing with the whole time runs on each pass and whatnot? So usually, when it comes to the Togue, a lot of people go, if you want to call it initial D style, where it's just cat and mouse. What do you think about it switching more to like a time attack style, but in the canyon itself, where you're just trying to beat the time and pushing your limit for that?
I think that's totally okay, honestly. Like, I mean, I like both. I mean, like I said, like I love racing, like running against people, is like all that shit's fun. I mean, time runs are definitely that's definitely a lot of fun too, and it's a lot. As long as everyone's on the same playing field as far as like timing equipment, what apps they're using, I think that's tight because it's a much more. Kind of having trouble finding the word for it, but there's much more direct comparison, and like aside from app issues, you can't like argue it.
Yeah.
Because with a race, it's like there's almost, except for like once in a blue moon, there's not going to be judges for it. So it's literally it's the word of each driver against each other, and it's like one person's bus length is another's car length is, you know, and all that kind of shit. Whereas with the time, it's like, look, I got this time, you got this time, and we were both using the same thing, so like, you can't argue it.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, that's the same reason why people like like track days and more like organized racing, is because it's like you can't argue those results. Whereas with just a heads up race, especially on the street, it's like unless if you have a massive audience like you do for like a really popular drag race, like you're never going to be able to. No one's ever going to be able to prove like what really happened. So it's just kind of like whatever you take out of it.
Very good.
Good.
We're gonna go to the audience for this question.
All right.
Double lane or single lane, bro?
God damn it! I knew this was going to come
We're gonna
up.
pass this question.
Yeah. There's just no
We're not going
point.
to that shit. All right. So,
I mean, do y'all want my opinion on it like afterward or?
Just answer the question. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
We can always let it out.
I'm just gonna keep this as short and concise as I can, with a preface that all this shit's illegal and don't try to kid yourself otherwise. So don't, whatever your opinion is, don't try to take a moral high ground, because it's like, well, we're all doing illegal shit. Anyway, with that being said, double lane, never, ever during the daytime, no matter how well you rode, no matter how well you know the road, what the conditions are, is never during the daytime. At night, it's up to your discretion and kind of just what the. Some roads, it's more acceptable to double lane than others. Most of y'all probably know that already. I just say it's up to your discretion, but whatever happens is on you.
Yep.
Yeah, never. If it's okay to double lane the road, or like per the locals, but you hit someone head on, that's still your fault. That's your fault.
Probably
Like,
the
so, I mean,
best
sometimes
answer.
like sometimes we overdrive, and like that's cool. Just don't try to act like, don't try to play victim. If you're double laning and you fuck up, or if you're single laning, any kind of canyon driving, if you fuck up, don't try to play victim. That's like, most of the time that's on you, regardless of what you told insurance.
but that fucking deer came out of
that a
nowhere, man.
deer-
Oh god,
Yeah,
damn, dude!
jumped
No,
out in front of me.
yeah, this
It was a
fucker
fucking
was
deer.
he was like 7 feet tall. He had like
was for sure a
he had, like
fat bug, boss.
bulging like biceps and shit.
Remember the
He's
time
wearing a
we
wife
heard
beater.
the
Like
yellow
holy
mohawk?
shit.
Oh,
He was
yeah.
Moog from
So
Open
the first time I
Season.
took this guy to Latigo, like
That thing
we're going down,
No, we're not.
and he's like 4 or 5
Wait.
toes behind me, and this
Like physically or
Fucking-
morally?
Which time are we talking about?
this fucking deer comes out of nowhere. I slam on the fucking brakes by Z and pitch to the right, and she's like, "You fucking deer!" And then when he gets to the bottom, he's like, "Hey, did you yell, you fucking deer?"
He said it so fucking loud.
I
I'm
was
sorry.
so fucking pissed. God.
That was such a
So I had
long
a follow-up
story.
question,
Hey, what's the
I
time?
did too.
real quick, actually, Mike. Going back to the whole time-based thing. From the canyon,
Had a
you've,
beat.
you've been to the track, you've driven on the track. Has driven on the track,
Yeah.
done a substantial amount of improvement, you think, in the canyon, or is it just a minimal?
Oh no, driving on track makes a huge difference.
10 minutes.
It's having a controlled environment to find the limit of your vehicle is huge, because unless if you're particularly unless if you're particularly gifted, I think it's hard to build that. I think it's hard to build that comfort like just on the canyons, and like, that's totally fine. I mean, as much as I love canyons, it's also scary as shit. And like if you fuck up, it's gonna be bad. Like 9 times out of 10. Yeah, so having a place to be able to comfortably explore that, I think is huge. And plus, like on track, the freedom of knowing that like there's not oncoming traffic, there's not deer, which may or may not exist, there's not cliffs to fall off of, there's not. Oh, you can also fucking see. That's the other thing. Yeah, having all those advantages is huge, and just being able to run flat out and it won't, realistically speaking, there won't be an issue. I think that's huge, and that's that's a different feeling than what most people get from driving canyons, in my opinion. That might be a bit presumptuous to say, because there's some fucking quick canyon drivers, like for certain, like really quick.
Yeah.
All right, so on the subject of canyons and tracks, some of you guys aren't aware of this because you didn't show up to Togue battle. Lames.
Big cock.
Does it count if it's not me that burps?
Every burp is a fucking.
Every burp is a shot.
Okay, that works.
So Mike actually brought the long shot twice, right?
Yeah.
Second time made it all the way to the quarterfinals, where it got really, really tight. Togue Battle 3 was pretty good. Those of you guys that didn't sign up, you really missed out on good driving. Even if you don't sign up, come out and watch the races. It's sick.
Yeah, no, there are a lot of good battles a lot of good battles came out from both the times I was at Togue Battle. Still, my favorite one was the first Togue Battle that we did. There was the battle between a yellow S2000 and like a K70 Corolla, like a TE70.
Yep.
One of the early 80s. The Corolla's before the 8.6. That was because the S2000 was it was driving like pretty clean and conservatively. But the fucking Corolla was just hanging it out like every corner. It was legit. And he was on the S2000's ass too. And there wasn't anything all that special about that Corolla either. It was on probably like 14 by like 6.5 or like 15 by 6.5 wheels. Like small wheels. And like probably just normal suspension upgrades and shit. But owner was driving it and fucking mobbing.
Sure, fucking it too.
Yeah, and like that's the kind of shit you see at Togue battles. You see really interesting matchups that wouldn't happen outside of maybe like Time Attack.
Yeah. And witnessing the Tesla drive on the track.
Oh yeah. I actually welcome the EV future, but that's a topic for another time. Yeah.
Anywho. So personally, what did you think of Togue Battle?
I really enjoyed it. I think. Being perfectly honest, I think the first one there was some like organization issues, but that's fine. That's kind of to be expected with any like new event. I think the battle format's like really good. I love the track. Horse Thief. It's tricky, but it's definitely a lot of fun to drive. It really does feel like I know this is what everyone says, but it really does just kind of feel like a canyon racetrack. It definitely punishes mistakes though. The first Togue battle, I fucked up a lot. Went off it a couple times, I think. I think I bent a wheel at that track too. I'm pretty sure I did. It was either there at Streets I bent a wheel, but the second battle though did go a lot better. Or the second Togue battle did go a lot better, just with more more seat time, more track knowledge, and all that kind of stuff. The first Togue battle I had RS Pros, but I didn't really know how to. Honestly, I didn't really know how to take advantage of a 200 tread tire, so really all I did was just understeer a lot and make a bunch of noise. The second battle, though, I show up with 300 tread Falcons, but I was more comfortable with those, and I ended up actually running 2 seconds faster than with the RS Pros. So that has more to do with just seat time and being comfortable and knowing the track and all that kind of good shit.
Nice.
No, yeah, Togue battle was tight, and then. The first battle went up against a good driver and an MX-5, and then that was really, really close. And the second battle, going up against Nico and his OP tier, bridge to bridge record setting Miata. It's like, well, we'll see what we can do.
A for effort.
Sometimes it's what matters.
Exactly.
true.
He was out there. He was sending it. He
It's
was
not
sending it in
work,
the
but
Elantra.
it's work.
So
Those of you guys saying I need coilovers, I need wheels, I need tires.
I mean, Elantra Sport's basically a Civic Si though. It's just a brand.
yeah,
Oh,
think
the
about it, yeah.
disrespect.
Yo, it's a cat. Ah, I left. There's a cat.
It's a more reliable Civic Si.
Oof.
Wait, Kenda's flying away. He doesn't agree with that comment.
Goodness, I don't leave in the chat.
Neat.
Alright, any closing? We're gonna get to the close of it because I think this is like 40 something minutes long so far.
Yeah.
So Ramon, go ahead and
The
say it.
ultimate troll car.
Oh,
right.
the ultimate
Yes.
troll car.
No budget limitations, no chassis swaps, anything. As crazy, as batshit crazy as you want to go, because I know you can get pretty batshit crazy.
It's batshit crazy. Ultimate troll car, batshit crazy. Doesn't want to go.
Do you want to cut into what?
I would build either one of those like Shelby Daytona replicas, a shoebox Ford on a NASCAR chassis, or like any 80s GM G body, probably a Regal or Monte Carlo, and just like fully build that out. That's probably what I do. Or a Suzuki Cappuccino, that'd be cool too.
Oof.
Nice.
Yep.
I dig it.
Any other closing thoughts?
Any other closing thoughts?
I have one more question
Any
for
other
you.
closing
actually.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Last one on my end. With the way that things are in the Togue right now, you know, when it comes to like all our local canyons and whatnot, do you think that it's going to stay as active or alive as it currently is, or do you think it's going to come to a slowdown? There's only one pass currently that's kind of doing, you know, the runs and all that crazy time stuff.
Yeah.
Our local pass has kind of come to an end. To be honest, the only people doing it is just us from what we can see when we're there.
Pretty much.
What do you think in that direction of things? Like,
It's like we're administering CPR.
We run our own class.
Come back alive!
Before we answer that, alright.
Keep it up at home. It's another shot.
Wait, get ready for this. Nope, I lost it.
You're welcome.
basically, what do you think of the
Like
what do you think of the new
drunk.
generation that's coming in? Is
This
it
empty
keep the
pile
Togue
of
alive,
beers
or
beat red.
do you think the new generation is not as into, you know, stick shift cars or cars in general? You know, everything's just, you know how it's going these days.
Just with card.
Pat, what's
I
your
mean-
choice, bro?
Just looking back at car history in general, it's always found a way to stay alive. I mean, I can at least speak for the U.S. And every other country. For our international viewers, I understand that every country has different history. But with the U.S., I mean, hot rodding like exploded after World War II. A bunch of GIs coming home, they got mechanical experience, nothing else to do, so they started chopping up Model Ts, Model A's, and all that shit. And then that stayed alive up until the early '70s, once we started having like gas shortages, and then due to increasing environmental standards, like muscle cars got put in a chokehold, and now you've got and then now like you had like 7-liter V8s making like 150 horsepower and like all that kind of shit. But I mean, car culture survived that. I mean, car culture always survives, and other than Steven choking on his own spit or something.
He's laughing because when you said we have big ass engines making little power, the C3's right there with this 5.7 liters of carbureted 350 and it only makes 120 fucking horsepower. EPA,
Bazinga.
fuck you.
Yeah, I mean, that shit always finds a way to survive, and I think as long as car culture is alive, definitely the underground side of it will be around, because there's an old saying that it was like the first auto race happened once the second car was built. So I think as long as there's cars to drive and they're at least relatively engaging, we'll have like people will be running the canyons in some capacity. The roads aren't going away; they're not getting bulldozed or blown up, so they'll be there. People will find it.
Yeah.
It may not be as active as it always was. It may not look like Fast and Furious or Initial D or anything, but like the road will still be there. Still be there to drive, and honestly, sometimes all we need is just to drive by ourselves to clear ahead and be able to 1 billion miles an hour.
There you go.
Fuck yeah.
You have, besides that, you want to end it on that? Or do you have any other closing thoughts? Anything you want to end, like, just...
I wish I could. I'd have to probably drink a lot more to get one more. No, I think
Shit with that?
we covered everything pretty good.
All right.
Unless if y'all want to hear me ramble for like another hour about random stories and bullshit, but
We could do that off.
I was gonna say we could talk about like how the market went up a lot recently.
You
But
know
that's
what?
a whole
Oh,
separate
yeah,
video.
yeah.
That's, a whole separate, that's actually a whole separate video.
Look, personal preference: Miata or EG Civic.
It's a random ass question, bro.
What's the better platform?
oh, what's the better platform? I mean, both cars have a big enough aftermarket that you can kind of, relatively speaking, I think you can build both at the same level. Due to front-wheel drive limitations, at one point the Civic will need more work, but that's when you're talking about building like World Time Attack Challenge or WTAC, whatever the hell it's called. Once you're doing a build like that, that's when you run into those kind of issues. But as far as like the average Canyon car where you're running maybe like 225 with tires at the most and just like basic engine mods and suspension, I think it's more just whatever platform you're more comfortable with driving would be the better one for you.
There you go. Steven trying to instigate at the end of the video and he failed completely.
I just wanted to see what his preference was, not a whole fucking.
It's
I'm just really good at giving non-answers, so
In case you haven't noticed.
Your wife
Yeah.
must be so happy with you.
that's an awkward ass question.
Anyways, fucking weird. We're gonna end it on that note. Mike, thank you for coming along. You know,
Yeah, of course, it's an honor to be on here.
we've known you for a while. People have requested you, and I think the timing's just right. So
Timing's right for a massive like throwback video,
yeah,
basically.
basically this is a massive throwback because pretty much been hitting the canyon since.
Yeah, there's been downtimes and that kind of shit, but
Yeah, but we'll always be up there.
yeah.
So we'll catch you around soon enough. We got a rematch coming in.
Yeah, this. I mean, whatever
RX-7
happens in this.
versus RX-7.
Oh, that's gotta happen. For
That's
sure.
gotta happen.
Definitely gonna happen.
All right, you guys. Well, Ramon.
I'm just going back and forth for like dramatic effect. It took you that long to know
See,
this.
this is why I didn't sit in the middle, because then I'd have to be doing that.
I feel like it's better that I do it though.
That's true.